Hi there. I'm Gideon Cooper. I'm the founder of Food for Kids, a ministry partner of the church at the Agape Outpost in Breckenridge, Colorado. Today I'm coming to you from Georgetown, Texas. I'm in the film studios of Bruce and Joyce Hammock, which also doubles as their garage. Tried to film this outside, too much traffic from the highway nearby, and we had to come inside, and boy is it hot in here in July the 16th. What I want to do on this short video is to tell you the purpose behind Food for Kids, the history of the ministry, the vision that God's given us to help the people in Honduras during the next year, and then also how you can help. In order to do that, first thing I want to tell you is I understand these are tough times. All ministries are hurting, and they're all trying to get out there and do fundraising and to do the things that God's called them to do. And it's a tough time for ministries. And I appreciate that. But I also know that the people of God still want to give. But you have a responsibility now, because you need to find places to give your time, your money, your prayers, your effort that's going to make a difference. You want to make a difference now. I understand that. And Food for Kids has been blessed because God has hooked us up with some ministry partners in Honduras that have been down there for years, and they're already making a difference. And we can help them continue to make a difference. So the history segment started in the summer of 2010. And that time Bruce Hammock, the owner of this house, called me and wanted me to check out this thing called aquaponics. I'll get more detail in just a minute again. But so I did, and what I found out was aquaponics is basically the combination, two terms: aquaculture, fish farming, and hydroponics, growing plants in water instead of vegetables. The benefits of this system is that there's no weeding necessary, there's no chemicals added, it's all natural food, it uses less water than dirt farming to water it. You're producing protein as well as fresh vegetables. It's just got a lot of benefits to it. And did I mention there's no weeding? Because that's really important to me. I grew up in Tennessee on a farm, and that's real important. But anyway, when I found this out, and I thought of this, okay, aquaponics produces protein and fresh vegetables. Well, I drifted back even further before this with Bruce, and I was down here in Texas. I was helping this lady unload some groceries at a nonprofit, and we were carrying in boxes of pasta, rice, crackers, and I said, "Where'd you get all the carbohydrates?" She said, "Well, she worked at an orphanage, and people gave them more than they could use, and she would give them to other nonprofits, other Christian ministries." So when I read that aquaponics puts out protein and fresh vegetables, what this lady said really came to mind, because she went on to say that all orphanages everywhere, almost every orphanage, struggles to provide sufficient protein and fresh vegetables for the kids they're caring for. And I just kept looking at those two. They go together. And it just kept rolling around in my mind, repeating itself. Now, there's a lot of room to roll around up there, but the point is, I couldn't get it out of my head. So I called my friend Bruce back and said, "Well, I'm not going to do this as a business, but you want to hear something crazy? I think God's telling me that I'm supposed to start up a ministry that help orphanages feed their kids by installing aquaponics systems at the orphanages and then training them how to run them, and operate them." I talked to the pastors at the church at the Agape Outpost in Breckenridge, and they agreed, and we formed Food for Kids as a ministry partner between the church and myself. And then the church responded with their confirmation by providing funds for me to go to aquaponics school to Morning Star Fishermen in Florida. If any of you want to go to an aquaponics school, I highly recommend Morning Star. It's a great experience, great people, and well worth it. And I just can't recommend it any more than I do. But I went down there for a month. I lived on campus. In the morning I was in class. In the afternoons I was building systems, taking them apart, cleaning them, feeding the fish, taking care of the plants. It was just a wonderful practical and classroom education on this system for a month-long intensive time. It was great. So when I came back, I sent out letters, I sent out emails to orphanages trying to offering them this ministry service, and frankly, nobody responded. And I wasn't really sure what that meant or what to do about it. And then two brothers contacted me, Mike and Dan Oskopinski. Dan is a missionary in Honduras. His brother lives in Florida. And Dan ministers in a little village called Sambo Creek. It's on the northern coast of Honduras, just outside the city of La Ceiba. And Dan ministers to a group of people called the Garifuna. The Garifuna are descendants of African slaves who are shipwrecked. This is the way the story is. They were shipwrecked on the Honduran coast in the 1880s. There's several little villages of Garifuna people on the northern coast there. Anyway, so Dan's been living down there for 3 years. He's got a church plant, he's got youth groups, he's got a seamstress school, trying to teach them. You see, he doesn't want to just give them Jesus. He wants to give them a chance at life. He wants to give them some way of making a living. I mean, Honduras is a poor place. The minimum wage there is $3 a day. So Dan has been down there. One of the other things he's doing is a gardening school. And he was wanting to know about putting an aquaponics system, a small one, in his gardening school so that he could teach the people there, and some of them might want to duplicate it in their homes. Well, one of the other things he offered to do was that he could hook me up with some orphanages down there. And so we contacted back and forth, and then I went down and so I went to school in the summer in June of 2011, and then in 2013 in February, I went to, school was 2012, Honduras was 2013 in February. And I went down there and I met Dan. We agreed I would come back at some later time and put in a small system there. Then he took me to a town called Toccoa. Toccoa is a small city also in the northern part of Honduras. And he introduced me to Barry and Penny Compton. They're the founders of Open Door Ministries. Open Door Ministries operates 2 facilities in Toccoa. And one is a girls' refuge home. The girls have been victims of rape, incest, sexual abuse by neighbors, just all kinds of horrible stuff. A lot of them come there pregnant or with an infant. And the Comptons take them in, feed them, clothe them, clean them up, get them in school, get them tutors, get them back up to their age grade in education, and try to prepare them to go on out. They also operate a regular orphanage with just kids of all ages there, and it's called Village of Hope. The girls' home is called Gates of Hope. And all of these kids at both facilities, there's hope for them because they're clean, they're healthy, they're happy, they're excited, they've got joy, they got hope. And that's different from a lot of the kids in Honduras. So at the Village of Hope, they have little houses that are run down. They've got a center road and a rectangular piece of property, center road with a building that's going to be a church and school building when it gets finished. And then they got little houses, casitas, and where the kids live in. So we agreed, Barry and Penny and I, that we would put in a large aquaponics system to Girls of Hope first. Well, I came back to the States, and my plan was to just go down there for a few weeks at a time as I raised money and install, an aquaponics system. But through some other revelation, I realized that God wanted me, or started thinking that God wanted me to go down there and stay for a year. Not just to put in the big system, but also to teach the kids at both facilities, the ones that were old enough, to how to farm, how to garden in little plots that they could put in the backyard, maybe in buckets for if they had an apartment. Because you see, if we can teach them how to grow their own food, then when they go out and they work, they don't have to spend their money at the grocery store. They can use it for other things of life, maybe to do ministry even. So, excuse me, I said it was hot. The neat thing of the Comptons on their website for Open Door Ministries, they have a motto, and it's called Breaking the Cycle. And both the Comptons and Dan and Mike Oskopinski, that's what they want to do. They want to break the cycle for these people. They don't want to just tell them about Jesus, get them saved, and feed them for today. They want to prepare them for the future. I love that. And that's why I say these ministries are making a difference now. And I'm just, Food for Kids is just getting a chance to join in, which I'm offering you and asking you to help. And when God started to lay on my heart to stay there for a year, to go down and stay for a year, I told him, you really got to confirm this. Now, friends, I did not have the nerve to say, God, and here's the way you do it. Tell some friends, I'm in Colorado at the moment, you tell some friends that are in Arkansas right now that this is what you want me to do. I called some of my friends in Arkansas that afternoon. Remember, I wasn't going to say that. I just was going to call them and ask them to pray about me hearing confirmation. They had already been talking about it that morning. I wouldn't have had nerve to ask, but that's what God did. So the confirmation was there beyond any doubt. So here we come. That's what we're going to do. We're going to teach, we're going to equip, and we're going to feed and build bigger systems, a big aquaponics system so they can feed all their kids and maybe more. Build more casitas and bring in more kids. And you can help. Now, for me to go down there, it's going to cost $15,000 total for a year. That includes I have to leave the country every 3 months. I have to fly out to, can't go to the border countries, got to go beyond there, got to stay gone for 3 days before I can get back in and get my passport stamped again. So I've got to have flights out every 3 months, plus the flight, expensive going traveling down there and back. Then I got to buy furniture, I got to buy a refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. You got to buy everything. The apartment's just empty. So then the aquaponics system is going to cost about $8,000. Now this is a huge one. It'll have 1,500 plus fish, have about 500 plants, vegetable plants. It will provide, once we get it mature, we'll be able to provide 50 or 80 protein meals a week, servings, plus all the vegetables we're getting from the plants. And it'll all be natural, it'll all be healthy. And hopefully as we really get to learning how to operate it, they'll be able to increase production above these levels. So, and we also have to put in a solar system because the electricity there is sporadic at best. So all of this, that system's $8,000. My year down there will be $15,000. We've already collected about $5,000 for my travels and time down there. So we're looking at needing less than $20,000. That's here on July the 16th. You can help. You can send lump sum donations. You can make a pledge. Maybe you, a church, your church group, your home group, your Sunday school group could come together and pledge to give a certain amount every month. And you say, well, we couldn't do 100. That's okay. Look, $25 a month would pay for all my purified water that I would need, and I have to have purified water to live down there. $50 a month would pay for my utilities for a month. $50 to the aquaponics systems would help pay for the seed base that we're going to be buying. A lot of it, if not all of it. So I just want you to know that a small gift is very appreciated. Now, all the monies will be sent to the church at the Agape Outpost in Breckenridge, Colorado. That's the website that you're watching this video on. All the money is sent to them. Information on how to give and where to mail it and all that is on the site, because they are our financial oversight. The church is. So the money goes to them, goes in the account for Food for Kids, and then as we requisition it, is dispersed for expenses. Friends, these ministries down there that we want to help are making a difference. Yes, they're rescuing them now and they're providing for them now, but they're also breaking the cycle. And they're going to help them in the future. And we're going to put out a bunch of little ministers to Jesus from Honduras. So, prayerfully consider how you can help. Maybe you want to come down there on a trip and visit with us. Maybe you want to provide a pledge every month. Maybe you want to give one lump sum. Whatever the Lord guides you to do, we'd ask that you obey Him. I know there's plenty of great ministries and they're all struggling, but please prayerfully consider us and do whatever the Lord tells you. Thank you and be blessed.